Planner camp is kicking off this week, so I'm changing things up and doing a plan with me with a type of sticker I don't normally use. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com. Today I'm working in my checklist layout planner. It's planner camp time over on Patreon. We are already in the midst of fun activities. It's not too late to join us. You can always join us over at patreon.com/ScrappyWife. But today, in honor of planner camp, I'm going to do a camp theme spread, a nature theme spread, but I'm going to use my Pipsticks stickers. I don't often use my Pipstick stickers in my catch-all planner, but this seemed like a great time to kind of get out of the comfort zone and use them. So let's do it. Today I am working in the checklist layout. This is what I use for my catch-all planner, and I am using some gorgeous stickers from Pipsticks. Pipsticks is kind of like a fabulous throwback company for those stickers that we loved growing up, the ones you love to collect and put in your sticker albums, and it is just so fun. And for a while I had one of the subscriptions to Pipsticks where you receive a certain number of sticker sheets each month in the mail. I loved it. It was so fun. I stopped the subscription just because I had so many Pip stickers that I was definitely not using them as much as the number I had. So, but I still love to grab for them. However, most of the time I use them in my journaling and not so much in my regular catch-all planner. The Pipsticks tend to be a slightly smaller scale, which can make them challenging to use. But one of the ways I like to have them still have a pretty big impact on the page is by bringing them together into little scenes, which is what I am working on here. In honor of Planner Camp, which is a fun virtual camp that we are having all month long over on Patreon, I decided to do some Polaroid pictures of a camp scene, and then I'm going to bring in some of these stickers, some of the word stickers or wordfetti stickers that talk about loving stickers and washi tape, because I feel like that brings the planner aspect into the camping aspect. Planner Camp itself is all about a celebration of all things planners and washi and stickers, but with that fun summer camp nostalgic nature inspired twist. And so I think having this be the theme in my planner for this week in June, that will be absolutely perfect. A great way to kick it off. All right, so as you can see, I just used this little Post-it note pad to create a rectangle and then drew a slightly bigger rectangle around it to create that Polaroid look. I wanted them to feel a little bit more uniform, but I did want it to look like they were just kind of thrown across the page, just like a set of Polaroids maybe that you sent home from camp that you just threw on top of your desk. So let's bring in a little whiteout so that I have a blank slot in the middle. Now, this is a little bit, I don't know, controversial. I'm only going to white out the middle of the Polaroid. I'm not going to worry about whiting out the edges of the Polaroid, just the middle where the actual photo is going to be. Otherwise, I'm just going to let the lines show through in the other sections. Then I'm going to take all of these Pipsticks. I have a couple of different sets. One set really focuses on camping, so I love all the tents. We're going to use that as the focus for a few of the Polaroids. Then I have one that has a log cabin feel, so we'll be bringing that in as well. And then the other set that you're going to see me bring in is actually going to come in after I finish with the Polaroids. And that set has a bunch of like disposable cameras and film and pictures. It definitely has a photography feel. And I feel like nature photography would have been my jam at camp. I did not actually go to a ton of what I would call a typical summer camp. I didn't do a lot of outdoorsy summer camps. I did a lot of sports camps, and I did music camps and band camps, but not a lot of outdoorsy ones. I'd love to hear what your camp memories are from when you were younger. Did you go camping? Did you, swim and do archery and take nature photography? That sounds so lovely to me. I think that would be so much fun. I did actually take a nature photography class one time when we did a family trip as an adult to a campsite where there were all kinds of things going on, all kinds of little classes and stuff you could take. And you could take the kids to do arts and craft. It was a really cool family event. So I did take a nature photography class once doing that, but otherwise not so much. I would love, love, love to do that some. For me, with the pip stickers, because so many of them are so small, when you really bring them together and cluster them in this way, I think it makes a pretty big impact on the page. I'm not going to need a ton of other decorative elements to bring this page together. I think you're going to get the theme once all of these little vignettes, if you will, of the camping moments are put together onto the page. This is also probably a good time to remind you that I'm having a huge sale over in my shop, ScrappyWife.com, from June 1st through June 10th. All of the planner inserts and dashboards are 25% off. This is my big moving sale. I'm about to have to shut things down after June 10th as we move states, and the shop will be closed for at least a month, if not 6 weeks. So now is a great time to shop and grab all of those supplies that you might need while the shop is closed over the summer. Plus 25% off is a fabulous deal. And if you are a Patreon member, a member of the pink, yellow, green, blue, or purple tier, then you also receive a discount code that you can stack on top of the sale. So that gets you up to 35% off, which is pretty darn good. All right, now that I feel happy with the scenes, I'm just going over the pencil lines that I use to draw in the Polaroids with a black Tombow pen, just so it's nice and dark and bold. And you can see I don't mind the lines that are kind of coming through where the Polaroid part is, where the edge of the picture is. I like that it's solid in the middle, solid white, and then the Polaroid, a little bit more translucent in that way. To me, it brings it into the spread just a little bit more. So once I do that, I thought I wanted something else on these particular Polaroids just to make them stand out ever so slightly. So what I'm going to end up doing is pulling in a mild liner to add a shadow. And I kind of went back and forth. Should I bring in a color? I was going to do pink. I ended up deciding not to, just because I wanted it to be a little bit more subtle. But you can see I'm just adding a shadow on two of the sides. It makes it feel a little bit more 3D. And I really think it makes them pop even more. Just having that little shadow, that raised effort on there looks pretty darn good. I'm really pleased with how the Polaroids came out in the end. Now, I do love the bursts of color, but as someone who very much enjoys a ton of color on their planner spreads, what I'm going to do next is actually bring in a couple of different washi tapes. This is a teal washi tape that I've had in my stash for a while. I'm going to layer that with a pink one that has a triangle pattern that makes it a really light, subtle pink washi. And we're going to put that at the top and the bottom to frame out the spread. Using washi tape at the top and bottom of your spreads is a great way to bring in a bold color. It's a great way to bring in a decorative element without taking up any of the functional writing space. And I just love that it can kind of set the tone for the spread. You just get the color scheme all in one place, and it does frame it in very nicely, which I think is very important. So I love adding it, and it's something I frequently do, especially with the checklist layout, because I feel like the margin is big enough to really allow the washi tape to have its moment. I very much enjoy doing it, and it's just a way to really define the colors that you're wanting to focus on in the spread. Now, I chose a ton of stickers that have a ton of colors, so I wouldn't say that I'm focusing on a specific color scheme. Really, we're going with rainbow. And I think with Pipsticks, it's often hard to focus on a specific color scheme because they do tend to have really bright rainbow-esque colors. All right, to really drive home the photography, the camp feel, I'm going to bring in some more stickers, and then you can see the phrase stickers. You are what you create. That seems perfect. And we're going to just layer on, kind of creating our own little clusters around each of the Polaroids. We're going to do cameras and random photos and film strips, and each cluster I'm going to balance out with these elements. So each one is going to have one of the phrase stickers like I break for stickers or give me all the washi, things like that. And that's going to bring that planner camp edge to it instead of just feeling like a camp or nature inspired spread. It's going to have that planner twist to it. I also just loved getting to use these pip stickers. I think they are so fun, and it's nice to change up the type of stickers you use. I so often am using Hell of a Plan, Live Love Posh, Wrong Wrong, Planny Thing. Those type of stickers, I use them all of the time because I love them, but you can find yourself in a bit of a rut. So using these smaller stickers that have this shininess to them, a foil that have all of these bright colors, was just a fun way to change things up and do something a little bit different. That's kind of what Planner Camp is all about. It's about trying new things, shaking up your planning routine, and keeping it fresh, because I think it can so easily become just something else to do, and you kind of lose the creative part. Like, yes, you got the functional part, you're writing your plans, you're keeping your lists, and that's great. But so many of us turned to creative planning in the first place because we were looking for that little creative outlet. And if you're using the same supplies or the same techniques over and over and over again without ever experimenting and trying something new, then it does get a little bit old. Now, I just went on and on about the creative aspect of the spread, but I've got to add the functionality. So let's add the dates at the top. That is an older sticker book from the Hobby Lobby, but I think they still have that dated sticker book sometimes. And then I've pulled out rainbow boxes from Mojo Jojo Plans, my go-to for all things functional boxes. And I'm just going to add some different boxes. There's still baseball going on this particular week. It's getting close to wrapping up. We have some different activities as far as gymnastics and other events that we need to be at. So I'm just going to continue to add boxes around the spread where I can write the events. That tends to be how I use the functional boxes on my spread. That's where our time commitments are. And then I use the lists for tasks and things like that. Yes, some of the lists got covered up. No, I'm not worried about it because I don't often use every single bullet point. So I think I'll definitely be able to work around what is left. Once I finish putting the functional boxes in place, then the last thing I'm going to do is grab those Pipsticks stickers, grab those sheets that I have been pulling from. Oh, I do want to add a meal planning sticker right here. But I'm going to grab the sheets I've been pulling from and go ahead and see if there are any other little spaces where I can add those camping elements, those planner elements that will drive home the theme. And that's going to be it for this nature-inspired planner camp plan with me. Let me know what you think of the spread down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. Don't forget, Planner Camp is going strong and it's never too late to join us. You can head to patreon.com/ScrappyWife to find out more. And don't forget to check out the sale on my website. It goes through June the 10th, 25% off all planner inserts. Go ahead and purchase them so that I don't have to move them to Texas. That would be amazing. All right. I hope that all of you have an absolutely fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.